got to talk about how John Leguizamo is a massive, massive hypocrite. Just a massive freaking hypocrite. I love John Leguizamo. I have always loved John Leguizamo. I have never been in a moment in my life where I didn't like John Leguizamo. But here, talking about the new Super Mario Brothers movie and the casting of Chris Pratt, and what he has to say about that, I think is utterly ridiculous and very, very, very hypocritical. So this is what's going on here. John Leguizamo calls out non-diverse Super Mario Brothers casting, saying it's going backwards. He says here, for them to not cast, we'll read the article. So Leguizamo, who played Luigi in the 1993 live-action film opposite Bob Hoskins, exclusively told IndieWire at the menu premiere in New York that the casting is going backwards with the upcoming animated feature film Super Mario Brothers. The movie had made waves after it was revealed that Chris Pratt would be playing Mario opposite Charlie Day's Luigi. Neither actor is of Italian descent. Okay. Neither actor is of Italian descent. Well, Luigi, as portrayed in the movie, was not Italian. I'm just saying. Now he says here, I'm OG. A lot of people love the original. I did Comic-Con in New York and Baltimore, and everyone's like, no, we love the old one, the original. They're not feeling the new one. And he says, I'm not bitter. It's unfortunate. The thing is, though, listen, I was around in 1993. I was 11 years old when that movie came out. I fundamentally adore that movie. I've always loved that movie. I've always spoken very highly of that movie. But to many people, we understand, the OG fans of that film totally understand that it is not a Super Mario Brothers movie per se. It is something heavily inspired by the game. Nintendo had no oversight on it because they literally did not care. They thought that the brand could survive any movie, good or bad, and they were correct. But still, that is the reality of how that whole thing went down. Now, Leguizamo recalled his turn as Luigi in the 1993 movie, saying that the directors Annabelle Jenkin and Rocky Morton fought really hard for me to be the lead because I was a Latin man. And they, the studio, didn't want me to be in the lead. They fought really hard. It was such a breakthrough. For them to go backwards and not cast another actor of color kind of suck. Here's the thing with that. I found an old quote from John Leguizamo about this. You can actually find this on the Wikipedia for the movie. And he says that, he basically took the role jokingly because, Scarface had come out about 10 years prior and Al Pacino is not Cuban. He's not Cubano, but he's playing a Cuban mobster and he's Italian. So he jokingly said back in the 90s, this is payback for fucking Scarface. You know what I mean? So he was even playing it tongue in cheek back then. Obviously this is a situation where I get what he's trying to say, but when I talk about him being a hypocrite, when I really do talk about him being like that, what's unfortunate is that he's got another movie that a lot of people are going to be bringing up. And it's one that came out in the mid 90s after Super Mario Brothers called The Pest. And if you've ever seen The Pest, this is a movie where he plays a guy by the name of Pest Vargas, who is a con artist in Miami in the 90s. And in this scene right here, he is portraying being a Chinese food delivery boy by dressing up as a person of Chinese descent and going into this restaurant. And even the manager there says, you don't look Chinese, you look like Mo from Three Stooges. And a lot of the movie has him using very stereotypical voices, very stereotypical dress, and everything else. Now listen, am I criticizing The Pest? Fuck no. I love this goddamn movie. It's a total stupid comedic riff on the most dangerous game. It's got Jeffrey Jones as the bad guy, Ari Spears before, his recent legal troubles with Tiffany Haddish, and the movie itself is definitely crazy. This is such a funny ass movie that it doesn't matter what he says about it. He's being hypocritical even after starring in this. I don't care. I still love the original 93 movie of Mario, and I love The Pest as well. I think we actually watched the opening of the movie on the show a while back, and I ended up getting a content ID claim because even whoever owns the rights to that fucking movie is like, we got to get money somehow, you guys. We got to get money somehow. But that's the whole point. So look, oh, so is is Leguizamo a hypocrite? Yes, he is. But does it matter? No, it doesn't. Melanandri is of Italian descent himself. He's like, it's perfectly fine, blah, blah, blah. I think many people in this particular case are massively overreacting to this. But this is how a lot of the times the media does frame these particular situations. When the media looks at how these stories, like how the, especially IndieWire, who brought this up to Leguizamo, IndieWire is massively, I don't want to say progressive, but they're super liberal. They're super libby. You know what I mean? They're like bleeding heart so, annoyingly so. And I say this as a liberal progressive, but they're very much like that. They're very social justice warrior outlets, and I'm not a huge fan of their op-eds, to be fair. But they're going to apply it from that perspective. They're going to look at it from that perspective. They're going to ask him those questions, and he's voiced his concern before, so obviously it's going to come back up again. And because there's been recent classification of a new Mario Brothers trailer that is supposedly going to be premiering at the Video Game Awards coming up here in the next couple weeks, obviously having Mario Brothers in the title, having John Leguizamo criticize the new movie is going to fuel that hate machine that's going to bring in a lot of that nonsense. And that's pretty much why they're doing it. But that being said, you know what? Bring on Super Mario Brothers. Bring on the 4K release of the original 93 movie. It hits its 30th anniversary in April of next year, surprisingly or not surprisingly, right at the same time that the new movie drops. And I really do hope that they put the old movie back in theaters for like a Fathom event revival, because god damn it, I would be there in a heartbeat, especially to watch Bob Hoskins, and especially because of my love of John Leguizamo as Luigi in that movie. But that's just me, an old ass fan, and my thoughts. Let me know yours. Let me know